The building inspector, the very same department. He came out, he looked around, he looked at the buildings, he said, wow, you've done a really good job making some nice buildings here. Your farm looks good. Just stay safe and carry on.
How do you explain that suddenly now?
Well, there's something going on behind the scenes. I wish I could explain it. I wish I knew it better myself. I think there's some personal interest, somebody's getting paid off. There's something bad going on behind the scenes, you know?
Somebody wants to grab the land, basically.
Yeah, it's very valuable land. I don't have any hard evidence. I can't tell you for sure of anything. But it smells real bad, they say, you know?
Eustace, why did you go into the woods in the first place?
I went into the woods when I was 17 because I wanted to learn firsthand. Jesus went into the forest. Moses went out into the wilderness. All of the great, wise people through all different traditions, through all time, have gone to the source of life, and that is nature. That's where our food comes from, our water comes from, our shelter materials, our clothing materials. Everything comes from the wild places. And the greatest education, the greatest thinking, and sort of like connection and awareness is in the forest and or wild places. If you don't have a forest, if it's out in the wild of the desert, just away from the confusion and distraction and overstimulation of the modern world and or even the ancient world, the people's social. And so I went out there because I thought it had something important to teach me, because I wanted great depth of wisdom. And so I took that journey. I went out in the forest at 17. I've never left the wild places. They're the correct place for me. Maybe they're not for everybody, but they're the right place for me. And I've learned a great deal by being quiet and listening and sitting still and thinking, you know, so, and or even in the working mantra of working and working, just that pace allows you to think. You know, young people are not encouraged to be themselves in this day and time. They're encouraged to be like some fashion model or something that's not. Like, it's not okay in the modern world to be yourself. And so they don't. They don't even find out like who they really are. And so they come into adulthood without ever thought about like listening to their inner self. They're overstimulated by so much technology and distraction that they don't even get a chance to check into their special, individual inner self. And that's a disgrace. But it's the way it is now. And Turtle Island, this place, this education center here, Turtle Island Preserve, is something that I designed to get people to meet themselves. Sometimes they go out for 4 days just quiet in the forest without seeing anyone. Or they interact with their own hands and find out that they're good at carving a spoon from wood, or find out that they're bad and they need to practice if that's what it takes, you know. So it's a hands-on education with direct contact with nature. When we make something, we don't just get a kit. We don't buy something from the store. We go out into the forest. We hunt it, we gather it, we pick it up, we shape it, and we make it and use. Every day I eat with a spoon that I carved myself. Today was a rare moment that I didn't, because we came down to this kitchen as we had a bigger group. But for years and years I eat with this spoon that's from a tree that I remember, that I watched grow, and I carved it with my own knife.
What kind of wood was that?
Cherry.
Okay.
Yeah, wild cherry tree.